religious, spiritual traditions, indigenous traditions, singing plays an important role. Chanting plays a vital role. In those traditions, singing is more than singing. It can be a vehicle, a portal between worlds, between the living and the dead, between the worlds that are within us, between heaven and earth. Singing is more than singing. In those traditions, sometimes we sing to the divine, however that's understood in the traditions. Sometimes the singing is to each other. We used to do a song here, I can't remember how it goes anymore, but it was something like, see if I can remember. Things like this. Grace and peace to you, my friends. Grace and peace be with you. Grace and peace to you, my friends. Grace and peace be with all but the last quote. And people here understood that as we're singing to each other. And we used to have a young man here by the name of Yum Yum. God bless him. His actual name was Manyan. And we loved him dearly. He loved us. And when my mom was alive, he would sit on the couch over there where you're sitting, Caitlin, with my mom. And he would sing to her that song, Grace and Peace to You, my friend. And it was the sweetest thing. So sometimes in those traditions, we sing to each other. Now, here's the punchline. Sometimes in those traditions, we sing to our own soul. That us, that is mysterious, unpredictable, delightful, depressed, whatever. You get the idea. We sing to our own soul. And if you look in the book of Psalms, you read these words, sing out, my soul. Okay. So the psalmist is singing to his or her own soul and saying to their soul, sing. Because that's what sings. Okay, we have the mechanism, right, the vocal mechanism, and we have the resonant cavities that project sound. But really, what is singing, according to many traditions, it is the soul, however you understand that. The depth of us that is pouring out what is in us. And if you've ever been really, really down, it's hard to sing, but sometimes we're capable of it, and out comes the outpouring of grief, lament. The Irish are good at that. Indigenous peoples are good at that. Today, we're not so good at that. You go see a psychiatrist or something, which is fine. Sometimes you have to. Or if you're really, really, really happy, delighted, like in love kind of response, right? What do? You sing. At the age of 13, when I fell in love with Rini Jakubik. She was the only girl in our neighborhood who bleached her hair blonde. She was lovely. She was a good kisser, too. And I rode off on my Schwinn bicycle with the banana seat and the high handlebars, and I sang at the top of my lungs because I was in love. As much as any 13-year-old could do. Point being that tonight we're going to sing a song rooted in the Psalms, that repertoire of the human heart. And it begins with these words: "Sing out, oh sing out, my soul." So I'm going to encourage you to close your eyes when we start singing, and rather than look at anything or anyone, just go within. See what's there. And sing to your soul. Sing out. And then we're going to go Latin. Because everybody loves Latin, right? And the words are, very simply, Veni, veni, veni. Come, come, come. Anima mea, my soul. So we're singing to our soul. Come on out and play, soul. Okay? Sing. Like a deer in the forest, hides behind the trees. Just a shy creature. But every once in a while, a deer appears. And if you haven't heard Brother Tim's deer story, you got to hear it. Because a deer appeared. So that's what we're going to sing tonight. Sing a line, just sing it right. Sing out, oh sing out, my soul. 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 Sing soul. Sing out, oh sing out, my 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 soul. Veni, anima mea. Sing out, oh sing out, my soul. Sing out, oh sing out, my soul. Sing out. freedom, what would you say? What is freedom? What does it mean to be free? Any thoughts? Okay, next question. Just kidding. We'll linger for a moment. The reason I asked the question is that I have a friend, Sister Francesca, that's her name, and she lived for about 35 years in a religious community. And at the end of the 35 years, she turned to her fellow sisters and said, "It's been good, but I'm leaving." And they went, "Ah." And she said, "Don't panic. I need to be free. I've lived my life with you for 35 years, and now I'm going to get a little apartment in Adams Morgan, Washington, D.C., and I'm going to invite everybody in the apartment in every Friday for brunch. But the rest of the time, I'm going to be by myself." Okay. And they went, "Oh." They got over it. And she makes the best brunch. And she's a very happy person. She's free. That's what she told me. She said, because I told her, someday I hope to start a monastic community. She said, just make sure it's free. Okay? Be free. Make sure everybody's free. Okay? I'll do my best. So, what does it mean to be free? What would you say? Come on, Gwendolyn, you have a smile on your face.
I like to think of it as having a choice.
A choice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of not having a choice, like being a slave. A slave doesn't have a choice.
Right.
Freedom means having a choice, not,
Right.
not to be, enslaved by something.
Right. Are you enslaved to your choices? No, just kidding.
I'm enslaved
I'm
to
teasing you.
needing food and sleep.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So to have choice. Freedom of choice. Okay, I saw a
That's
hand
more
shooting the
like
back
it.
of it. Yes.
I would just say being able to be yourself on your terms.
Uh-huh. Being able to be yourself on your terms. Okay. Very good. What else? I see you smiling back there, Michelle. Yeah, you. No?
Freedom for me is knowing that this is temporary.
Aha! Now you're bringing time into it. Whoa. Would you care to say any more about that? That's intriguing to me.
It's just knowing that my essence is eternal. This is a pit stop.
Right. Interesting. Okay. To know that this is temporary. Anyone else? This freedom.
And I meant that life.
Pardon?
I meant life is temporary.
Life is temporary.
In this body is
Yeah.
temporary. Not here.
Well, this is temporary too.
Whatever.
Yeah. Yes.
I was going to say freedom is to know thyself.
To know thyself. Who said that?
Well, I was going to say know yourself, and I just the thyself.
Well, a couple of people said it. One is the Oracle of Delphi. It's written above the door in Greek. Know yourself. And Socrates said something similar. He said the unexamined life is probably not worth living.
I might have heard that from him. I just forgot where I heard it from.
And it also is in the Matrix.
Okay.
It gets around. What does that mean to you, to know yourself?
Well, where I was coming at it from is that, I was thinking about the story you just told us and how, not everyone might have the choice that she had to just pick up and leave. So it's not as though like freedom of movement really answers what is freedom, but in whatever situation a person is in, and also regarding Michelle's answers, is that if you know the truth of who you are and what you're experiencing, then you are free in the sense that your decisions and choices in life will be made in accordance with, in a harmonious sort of exchange between you and the reality that you know internally and externally and accept fully.
Okay. Very good. Can I ask you a question on that?
Sure.
Can we ever know ourselves completely? can we ever know reality totally?
I don't think so.
So we're working on it.
Right.
Okay, cool. Anybody else? What does it mean?
For me, it's not being bound by the things that bind me inside, the things that limit my choices, their beliefs, their programs, their wounds. To be without those means that I have the freedom to be whoever it is I am, even within a commitment. I just made a very important commitment for the rest of my life. But that's a choice. That's not being unfree. For me, that's freedom. I made that choice. So I'm free within that.
Are you totally free? Within?
Well, not totally anything.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's work in progress, like you just said.
We're all in progress, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Anyone else? What is freedom?
Finding lately a curious twist to that with taking the vows here and having been living here with the routine, and more I realize the routine and vows give me more freedom. I've been puzzling. Well, what from? Why? It's freedom from what we would call the ego. It doesn't matter what mood I'm in when I get up in the morning. I'm going to prayer. It doesn't matter what mood I'm in. I'm going to smile at my brother or sister. It frees me from my own programs and moody crap to be more of the authentic self I want to work on becoming. So
What frees you?
for some reason, this monastic rhythm and the vows free me to be more of my authentic self that I feel is my authentic self. And it's like a tool, that aids my self-freedom from my old moody self and petty self and pissed off self and
You got a lot of selves in there.
I do. Many of them. And I'm getting free of a lot of them.
Our many selves.
I get to keep the happy ones.
Yeah. Keep that going.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Enjoying the experience without any expectations for the outcome.
Free of expectations. Whoa, that's a biggie. Yeah. Anybody else want to be free of something? How does unity relate to this? I look at you as the representative of the entire unity world.
I mean, I think a lot of it is freedom from cynicism, freedom from self-doubt and believing that we're not good enough, freedom from unworthiness. A lot of it is affirmative prayer and stepping into our
Nice.
what we are worthy to receive. And Ben is also watching. He says, freedom for me is knowing this life is temporary. Freedom is not being bound. Freedom to be whoever it is that I am. So I think authenticity is also very,
Hi, Ben.
yeah.
That's great. Thank you, Ben. Why am I yelling? You can hear me. I'm speaking out, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else? Here or somewhere else? Okay, then I'd like to do a little exercise tonight to exercise our freedom, ready for this, of imagination. I don't know if anybody mentioned that, I can't remember, but for the poet, freedom of imagination is really important. For an artist, freedom of imagination is vital. So I'm going to give you a prompt. You ready for that? Did you want to say something? Right?
Yeah.
No? Okay, great.
I don't feel especially free. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Fair enough. So here's the prompt, and I'm going to tell you a little story and then give you the prompt. Okay? Are you ready? I saw God when I lived in Ireland. Some of you know the story about the raindrop, but that's not what I'm going to tell you. I saw God on a bus in Ireland, traveling across the country for 4 hours. Okay? That's all it takes, by the way, to travel across the entire width of the nation of Ireland is 4 hours. Can you imagine that? And you can't do New Jersey in that, can you? I don't know. Maybe. Going fast, I guess. But Ireland, the entire island, God bless them, you can traverse, go across in 4 hours on a vehicle. And even stop for coffee or something along the way. What? Don't you think that's true? Okay, good. And there I was in the back of the bus, traveling across Ireland to the other side of the aisle. And this young couple got out. They couldn't have been more than like 16 or 17 maybe. But it was clear that they were crazy in love. What's that movie, Crazy, Stupid, something in love? Is that the name of it?
Crazy Stupid Love.
Crazy Stupid Love. They could have been the actors, you know. I've never seen the movie, but I'm assuming it's about that kind of love. Anyway, there they were, and they came on board the bus, and they sat in the front seat, and they were holding hands, and then with their arms around each other for 4 hours. And every once in a while, fairly often, instead of looking out the window, they would turn to each other and they kiss. And I thought it was the sweetest thing, you know. And in that moment, which was 4 hours long, I saw God. There was a lot of kissing going on. So the prompt that I want to give you is this, for anyone who wishes to share. I saw God when, or I saw God in, You know what I'm trying to say, right? When did you see God? That's the question for your imagination. The floor is yours.
That one many years ago I walked into an AA meeting, and I had all sorts of answers in my head, and the woman that was sitting next to me figured that out right away. She said, "You may be very smart about a whole series of things, but you don't know anything about this, and you just don't need to worry about it for today. Like, God can just be that tree," and like pointed out the window at the tree. And in that time where I needed faith and my head was running very fast and my heart felt nothing, that was perfect. And that became God for as long as I needed it. And yeah, I think that was a beautiful, perfect moment. She let me borrow another kind of faith that I didn't have yet. And that was lovely.
Yeah.
Delight in seeing God in nature. Today, God was in Sita. We were putting another harness on her. And this time, instead of fighting it, she just stepped right into it. And but she looked up with this look like she knew she was Houdini. I don't care anymore what you put on. Just do your best. But there was just this direct eyeball to eyeball contact where she knew she was the superior. I'm God. You are appealing. I laughed inwardly.
That's a great story.
Arizona. I was on my way to a retreat, and it wasn't that far down the road, but I knew I had to go to the bathroom before I was gonna get there. And I drove into a gas station. And I did what I had to do. Wasn't the most pleasant experience in my life, but I came outside and I got in the car. I looked out the windshield and there's this man. I don't think I've ever seen anybody so filthy and so dejected looking. And my heart wouldn't let me drive away. That was just all there was to it. And so I reached for some money because I didn't have anything else. But I walked, I felt impelled. I walked over and I looked at him and I asked him, I said, "You gonna be okay? Have a place to go, you know?" And when I saw God was because he looked right into my eyes. He took the money, but he looked right into my eyes and it looked like this real appreciation. Just like he appreciated it. And I felt like, well, I wish I could do more, but the contact, that man has stayed with me. He pops up every now and then and just looks at me.
I see God in those videos where you see an infant or a young child who was either born blind or deaf, and they have a procedure equipment where they hear their mother's voice for the first time, where they see her for the first time. That's the ultimate love moment for me.
The moment where I felt like I saw God was I was much younger, maybe like 6 or 7 years old, and I was on a beach with my dad and my brother in Cape Town, and my housekeeper at the time as well. And at some point we lost sight of my young brother. He's a couple of years younger than me, but we lost him for maybe 30, maybe 45 minutes, searching desperately, getting other people to help. We couldn't find him anywhere, and my dad started to think that he might have been washed out to sea, and he just broke down in tears, making sounds never heard him make before or since. And then all of a sudden I saw our housekeeper coming back down along the beach with my little brother and tow this like 2, 3, 4-year-old little kid. And my dad, I pointed them out, and he just was like, I don't even know what emotion that was, but just watching the two of them reunite, and his worry and relief and happiness and terror and all that mixed together, combined with my little brother just really just being happy to be there. He didn't even know what was going on, just having a good time. That really stuck with me, and I just felt like very connected with how God feels about us in His face.
thank you, everyone, for sharing when you saw God. I would encourage us all to see God a lot. St. Ignatius of Loyola said something like, see God in everything and everyone. See God in everything and everyone. Can you imagine living your life seeing God like all throughout your day? What that might be like. So, good luck with it. We'll close with a song.
I just had a recurring thought of one that asks, we say prayers for Pope Leo. I've just so admired him recently, and I just have this feeling like, let us pray for his protection and strength, because he's taken it all on.
Do you all know what's going on with the Pope?
No.
Why don't you share with us?
I don't remember a lot of the details, but he's just speaking out directly against Trump and Israel and the genocide and the expanding genocide, and but he's just putting it right out there, saying this is wrong, that's evil, and stop it. God does not hear your prayers, you are praying for violence, and all these things. I keep seeing more and more statements, and our politicians have responded with, you better keep quiet. You know, we're going to end this. It just makes me feel
We're going to end this?
you know, one of them threatened him.
Threaten to end his life?
Yeah, but it was implied, you know, an implied threat. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the one thing that I just caught, the one thing that President Trump put out an AI-generated image of himself as Jesus.
Healing.
And healing people, right, with this flowing robe on, Jesus combed hair,
Yep.
and there he is, the golden hair Jesus, you know. I thought, my God, has it come to that, you know? But, yeah, so thank you for sharing that with us.
And he attacked the Pope in what he wrote.
Right.
He attacked the Pope as being against not hard enough on crime and all kinds of other political things.
Yep.
Gosh, I mean, it was just, he called the names.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Nasty.
Yeah. Thank you. We'll close with a song. The peepers are out tonight. The words of the song are simple. When the night is fallen, F-A-L-L-E-N, and the moon shines softly, gentle light, you guide us, faithful friend, you love us. I'll sing it once and then join me. When the night is fallen and the moon shines softly, gentle light, you guide us, faithful friend, you love us. When the night is fallen and the moon shines softly, gentle light, you guide us, faithful friend, you love us. When the night is fallen and the moon shines softly, gentle light, you guide us, faithful friend, you love us. When the night is fallen and the moon shines softly, gentle light, you guide us, faithful friend, you love us. When the night is fallen and the moon shines softly, gentle light, you guide us, faithful friend, you love us. At the close of this day, we give you thanks for your great love that sets us free. May we become more and more free in our imagination, in our lives. May we hear your voice.